want to introduce the newest members to the Beach Chamber, Adore Boutique, Jessica Dalby Brand Media, King of Pops, Panama City, VIP Care, Authentica Express, HCA Florida, Breakfast Point Emergency, Leon Visuals, and Soulshine Coastal Boutique. Congratulations from the only local sports talk station, ESPN Northwest Florida.
1, 2.
I'm in love with a man named Rudy. I'm okay with that. He knows exactly what I want. He keeps me coming back. He cooks breakfast, lunch, and dinner for me. Does the dishes too. I'm in love with a man named Rudy. Last name Barbecue. It sure is easy to fall in love with Rudy's tasty oak smoked barbecue.
Next in line.
Life can throw a lot at us, but what helps us through it is knowing we have a place where we feel loved, grounded, and safe. A place where we belong. A place called home. But for thousands of youth living on the streets, there's no such thing as home. Out here, it's a predatory world that can destroy lives forever. At Covenant House, we care for homeless and at-risk youth, working in communities just like yours, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Here, these kids will get a shower, clean clothes, nourishing meals, and a safe place to sleep. Our caring staff teach life skills, offer stability, and encourage kids to believe in themselves so they stay off the streets for good. We're committed to giving lost, scared, and hurting children a place to go, a place to call home. To help or get help, go to safeplacetosleep.org.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe. It is the best way to protect that legacy. You know what? We should make an emergency communication plan. That way we're ready this year. At my dorm, we have emergency kits for earthquakes and wildfires, but I'm sure there's something more local I can send you with a link.
Okay.
Smart.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn Haven, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking
The first pick.
This is the last ball you got to bat.
the Inside Drive. From college to the pros, interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Never meant to cause you any sorrow.
Sing it, Jay.
I never meant to cause you any pain. I only want one time to see you laughing. I only want to see you laughing in the purple rain.
Purple rain, purple rain. I don't have as beautiful of a voice as you do, Jay. That's why I'm on this side and you're on that
Purple
side.
rain, purple rain.
The people don't know that's just going to be Jay playing Purple Rain the entire 2 hours. And welcome in. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. The guitar is in the house, so that means only one thing, that it is Friday. That's how you know it's Friday here on the Inside Drive, when Jay brings that beautiful Taylor guitar in. That was impressive. That was, I think, as far as all the songs you've played to bring us in on Fridays, I think that's going to take the number one spot for me.
All right.
We peaked. Yeah.
Prince.
The bar has been set high. Now you can't go under it. You got to stay there or above.
All right.
That was good though.
Thank you.
What brought the inspiration for Prince today?
I don't know. I
R.I.P.
mean, we haven't seen rain in quite some time, and
I haven't seen any Purple Rain. Yeah. What's the true meaning of that song? Do you know?
There had to be some
Oh, I'm sure there is.
psychedelics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Purple
Yeah.
and rain. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Could have just been the way that the sky was tinted that evening.
Yeah. Could be. Could be. Or, he's hanging out with Grimace from McDonald's and it was raining.
That's right.
Milkshakes started melting, baby.
That's it. That's it. The Grimace Shake. Oh, God. I don't even know why I said that. Kids in the Grimace Shake last year. That was ridiculous. We went there one time for it.
Did you?
Yeah, there was like 700 other kids there in there, like older kids, like 17, 18 years old. I was like, what are y'all doing with your lives?
Grimace.
Yeah.
Was it good?
I didn't try any. The kids said it was good. I think they were going to say it was good regardless.
Yeah.
Because you can't have that much hype and then be like, oh, this sucks. I mean, you can, but kids.
No.
Kids. Anyway, you're listening to Inside Drive on this beautiful, fun Friday right here in Panama City Beach, Panama City, Florida. You're probably listening on 104.3. Or if you're down there along the Forgotten Coast in Port St. Joe, you're listening on 101.9. On Facebook, YouTube, and X, you can search ESPN Northwest Florida. Watch, listen, check out all the other cool stuff we have. The other two great local shows right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. You can also download our free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. That one you do need to search 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. As always, you can always visit ESPNPC.com at any time. If you don't want the app or if you don't want to go on social media, that's another beautiful way to listen as well. Jay, that was nice.
Thank you, Ryan. We're twinsing today, man. We got our ESPN.
For the record, I got a lot of these, and I haven't worn the same. I have worn the same shirt all week, but it's not the same shirt all week. If that makes sense.
You're not like me, where I just don't do laundry.
Yeah,
like
no.
Beth said.
And she clarified that again yesterday when she picked me up. She said, "Look, I was just saying, does he go take it somewhere like to a laundromat, or does he do it? Not that you did or didn't do laundry." I was like, "Well, I took it that you were asking if he did laundry or not do laundry." So
yeah, I question every other week.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
I just kidding.
every other week might be a stretch, that's for sure. But no, that was some beautiful stuff.
Thank you.
We got a good show lined up today. We're going to have Alan Sandage at 11:20. Hard to believe it's that time for the Kentucky Derby, the first leg of the Triple Crown. He is up there and in Louisville right now, about to approach Churchill Downs. I think he's picking up his media credential as we speak. So I know Alan's obviously a big gambler in general, but he's sports director up there at ESPN Richmond. But horse racing's kind of been one of his things for a long time. So we're going to talk about the Kentucky Derby, what it means, all those good things. And then we're going to dive into the betting of the Kentucky Derby, which now that we have Hard Rock here in the state of Florida, I don't think they've pushed anything out yet, but I know it's coming.
All right.
Because horse racing is like the most legal betting thing like in the country. You
Right.
can, you can go up to the place up there off of 79 and you can do horse race betting there anytime you want.
Yeah.
At Ebro.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm working on it too. Once they make it legal in Florida, we're going to get him to be involved here on the Inside Drive.
As he
Because it's
should.
coming. It's coming. Hard Rock's been hanging out for a long time now. We got it's an election year. That means we got the big stuff on the ballot. So maybe that'll change. That's for sure. But we're going to dive into some of the betting in the Kentucky Derby here or just in horse racing in general to educate you mainly, Jay, and all of our listeners as we go right into the Kentucky Derby segment real quick. But before we dive into that, you got a poll question for today?
Should I?
You always have full permission to do it.
We had one yesterday that was your responsibility to remember today, and then I was supposed to remember for you, and so ultimately we both failed.
Well, no, you're like on a 2 or 3 minute delay typically with the remembering.
That's true.
Yeah, remember? You said it, and I said your sole responsibility for the show tomorrow is to remember what this poll question is.
But then before the show, I had come up with one, and I didn't know if that was appropriate.
I think the one from yesterday was better, but I can't remember.
I can't either.
It was your job.
I know. Gosh.
But you did so good with Purple Rain, I'm going to give you a pass on this one.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I got
What's your one for today?
Well, if you had the choice and you got to pick these three for 24 hours, like this is life or death. Like you got to do this.
Okay.
Like 24 hours. You have to spend time with either A, Rosie O'Donnell.
Whew, I don't like where this is going.
B, your mother-in-law.
Okay, I like this. That's my choice right now. Depending on what C is.
Same.
or C, President Joe Biden?
Ooh, that's a hard B for me. That's a hard B.
I got you.
That was an easy one. I think we're going to have an overwhelming B on this one.
Okay.
I could be wrong, though. I've been wrong before on the poll questions.
I got you.
And then you'll remember over the weekend what that poll question that you were supposed to remember for today was.
Okay.
So Dave is going to put that poll question out there, and we're going to dive into some of this fun stuff with the Kentucky Derby coming up. Do want to mention there was some breaking news this morning, and Travis kind of called it a little bit yesterday. But Odell Beckham has signed a 1-year, $8.25 million contract with the Miami Dolphins to go join that wide receiver core for the next upcoming season. So Travis had reported yesterday that may be happening, and lo and behold, about 20 minutes ago, it did in fact happen. So that is going to be, he's jumped around a little bit the last few years, battled some injuries, but maybe he thinks he can add there and get another Super Bowl, and we'll see. AFC is going to be tough again this year, and he definitely does add to that receiving core, but big group down there, and a fun place to be in Miami, so I'm sure he'll enjoy that as well. Also coming up this weekend, I don't know, Jay, if you're going to be looking up, because there are going to be planes everywhere. It's the Gulf Coast Salute right there at the City Pier at Pier Park. It's got it blocked off about a mile each way in the water. Obviously, there's some pre-parking in different locations. There's going to be a lot of traffic, but you know what? That's kind of the things we deal with when we bring an event where you have the Thunderbirds and lots of other amazing air shows coming in. So that's going to be cool.
So we got sounds on the ground and sounds in the air this week.
Sounds everywhere.
No
sounds
kidding.
of freedom. Both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them. Absolutely. So go check that out. It's going to be a fun weekend. And the weather looks great here in Panama City Beach for the next, 5, 6, maybe 10 days. That time of year, you can feel it. The humidity's getting up. It's getting warmer. I think we're at the point, Jay, where we're probably not going to dip back down into that cold spell. I think we're probably upper 70s, mid-low 80s for a while, and then obviously gradually heating up.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah. You'd rather be hot than cold, right?
Yes, absolutely.
A lot easier to be out there on the lesson tee when it's warm than when it's freezing.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Because you can always go in and get cool.
Right.
And drink lots of water, right?
About as cold as that Waffle House corner we were in earlier.
Woo! That was a chilly one. That was a chilly one. Yeah. I was going to do a Waffle House poll question, but I knew in my head that there was something we were supposed to remember. I didn't know it at the time, but I like your poll question as well.
All right.
I think it was going to have to do with hash browns, but I think we've hashed that one out before here on the Inside Drive.
Yeah.
All right, Jay Henley. Types of horse racing bets. Are you ready?
Yes.
Because this may come into play for you later on, because our pick'em today, it's Friday, is going to include 2 things from the Kentucky Derby. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Horse racing odds. So you've gotten pretty good at this. So if you place $10 on a 4-to-1 bet, how much are you going to get back? Say the $10 goes in, it's not in your pocket anymore. You bet the $10, it's 4-to-1, that horse wins. How much are you getting back?
$30?
No. You get back $50, the $40 on the 4-to-1 on the $10 bet, plus your original $10.
I got you.
Because and there's just like Hard Rope Works, you have to bet the $10. So yeah, you're not really winning that additional $10, but you're getting it back.
Right.
So yes, a $10 bet on a 4-to-1 horse that wins would get you $50 total dollars back, which includes your original $10 bet as well. So going off of a minimum bet, which is typical minimum bet in horse racing, is $2. So there's all sorts of odds. If you have even odds on a $2 bet, what does that mean you win?
I mean, we're getting Science Project here, Ryan.
Science Project?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even 4? Yeah. All right.
You bet 2, you get 2.
Okay.
So $4 total dollars. I'm going to test. This is going to be a little bit tricky. If you bet $2 and the horse was a 1-to-2 favorite, how much would you get back there? This is tough because this is going the opposite way. I just want you to be prepared when you place all these big horse bets this weekend.
Miss Lombardo back in 3rd grade. All right, so 2 times 2 times 2, so 8?
1-to-2. That's less than even.
Oh.
So you bet 2, you get $1 back. So you would win $3 total dollars.
God.
That's an overwhelming favorite. 1-to-1 is even. Anything 1 to a higher number means that you're going to get paid less than that $1 when you get it back. Okay. Versus you go the other way, the 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1, which we just discussed. So I want to get that out of the way for you before we progressed on. A straight bet.
They're getting harder?
No, that was just setting the groundwork on like what odds mean when you bet money and the money you get back.
I got you.
You got to be strategic in betting. Yeah. Unless you just like losing money, then that's one of those other things. And sometimes it's just for fun.
Right.
It's just for fun. But in horse betting, there's 3 straight bets. Do you know what they're called?
3 straight bets.
The first one's super easy.
Prop bet?
No.
3 straight bets.
There's 3 straight bets in horse racing. I'll give you the first one. That's the easiest one. It's called win.
Okay.
So a win is the horse must win for you to get the payoff. So basically, you're betting on a horse to win. That horse does anything but win the race, you get nothing.
Okay.
All right. Do you know what the next one is?
Top 5. Top 3.
Kind of.
That's basically the same.
You know where we're going with this. You know, you ever watch like the
It's like a noun, like a person, place, or thing.
Yeah. And some may say it's like a production or a show. You ever watch like the dog competitions, the Westminster Kennel Club?
Yes.
Win, place, show. 1, 2, 3. However, in horse betting, it's a little bit different. So place, your horse must finish first or second for it to be successful. So if you place a place bet, that means if your horse finishes first or second, you win. Obviously, if you know, on a winning bet, it has to win. That's it. So the show, what do you think the show means? The horse you bet on must do what?
Win.
Or
place.
Or
finish the race.
First, second, or third. Just think of win, place, show.
Okay.
First, second, or third. But a show bet means your horse can finish first, second, or third. Obviously, your payout odds aren't going to be as much because there's 3 options for finishing. Same thing with the place. But those are the 3 regular straight bets when it comes to horse betting terminology. All right.
Us Georgia folks just didn't get too much into horse racing.
I don't know about that. Yeah. I know just across the border of from Augusta is Aiken, South Carolina, which is one of the horse capitals of the South. They run both the Triple Crown and the steeplechase there in Aiken, which is a lot of fun. Big horse racing there. And Aiken also was the home of the U.S. polo team for many, many years. So my first and only polo match happened in Aiken, South Carolina. It's like a big event thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's too who's-whoosy for me.
Yeah, I would think. I mean,
you gotta get like dressed up and fancy. It is kind of cool though, listening to the horses. Because have you ever been to a horse race?
I have not.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But to hear the gallop and all that.
And in a polo match, it's just constant and it's intense.
I bet.
It's intense. It's fun. Anyway, we're running out of time here to go through all these. All right. So combination straight bets across the board, win, place, show. This is a combination of all 3 wagers. So if you bet a horse this way, you are betting that it will win, place, and show. If the horse wins, you collect on all 3 bets. If it's second, you collect on the show and the place, and if it's third, you only collect on the show portion of the bet. Do you understand?
I do.
Okay, so across the board means you're betting whatever horse you're betting win, place, show. So if he wins, you get the biggest payout. Obviously, second or third, you get the next, and then finishing third.
That makes sense.
That's the thing about horse racing is there's so many different combination of betting. But remember, your minimum bet in horse racing is always $2. So when you do a bet like this, that $2 I think is multiplied two more times because you're essentially placing 3 bets. A win, place, or a win show is simply a combination of win and place or place and show. There are 2 combinations, so a $2 bet would cost $4 in total because you got 2 combinations there. Got it?
Got it.
Were you going to ask a question?
Well, I was curious if there's been any wrecks in the Kentucky Derby. Do they have wrecks in the horse racing?
I think they call them more accidents than wrecks because they're not driving race cars. But yeah, that happens sometimes. Our horse will get injured and they'll pull up limp and all that stuff. But yeah, stuff like that does happen.
Accident.
Typically, they don't call them wrecks out there, though, the announcers with their accents would be like, oh, the number 3 horse just wrecked going around the first furlong. And yeah, I don't think that happens, but I like it. Maybe we can start a trend.
Okay.
We'll start calling them wrecks.
Yeah.
All right. Exotic single bets. You've heard more about these, and we talked a little bit about them last year, but this is one you got to pay attention to because we're going to have one of them in our pick'em here, Jay. So exotic single bets, an exacta, that's correctly picking the horses to finish first and second. So you have to have them finish first and second in that order to win. It can be either done as a straight bet or a box bet, which that box bet means they can finish in any order, although it adds that additional bet to your bet card. A trifecta, what's that, Jay?
Where they win all 3 of the major horse races coming up?
No. That would be
that's the Triple Crown.
That would be the Triple Crown.
Just Triple
yes.
Crown.
So we just talked about an Exacta. So my natural progression of talking to you about this would say, if an Exacta is correct, is first and second in that order, a trifecta would be?
Tri means 3, so there we go.
There you go.
Yep, 3.
What was your third grade teacher's name?
Miss Lombardo.
Miss Lombardo would be proud.
Yes, she would.
So yes, 3, but what does that mean?
That you win on all 3 of those bets.
No. We're going to get there eventually.
All right.
We don't have a whole lot of time before we talk to Alan, but no, it means you got to pick the exact order of first, second, and third.
Okay.
So
that's a big payout, it sounds like.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very, very hard. It's hard to pick the winning horse in general, but to pick first, second, and third in that order, people are going to win it. It's just maybe not you. All right, so we're keeping with the theme. Exacta, trifecta. Now we're on to the superfecta. What does that mean, Jay?
Where you get the top 5 correct?
Oh, you were so
top
close.
4?
Yes. Progression.
Okay,
Progression.
yeah.
We were 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm not a rhythm kind of guy.
I don't know. You preach rhythm and balance in golf, so
there's no rhythm in that guitar.
There was plenty of rhythm in that guitar to start, that's for sure. But yes, the superfecta is currently correctly picking forces to finish first, second, third, and fourth. It can either be done as a straight bet or a box bet, which I mentioned. The box bet is when you can have them do in all sorts of different orders, but your betting card now, your price that you're doing goes way up. There's also an omni bet. You pick 2 horses. If they finish in the top 3 in any order, you win. This bet is available on international tracks, not in the United States, just in France, the UK, South Africa, and Hong Kong. A trio exotic bet is you pick the first 3 horses, and if they finish in the top 3 in any order, you win. This bet is also only available on international tracks in France. All right, Jay, we got about 2 more minutes. So an exotic multiple bet, you got a daily double, a pick 3, a pick 4, a pick 6, or a pick all. These bets involve choosing winners of consecutive races. More than one horse can be added into each leg of the bet, multiplying the cost. Because it's not just the Kentucky Derby that's being run. They're running races as we speak all the way up through that Kentucky Derby, because otherwise it'd be a lot of time to hang out for, 2 minutes and 15 seconds worth of racing.
But these horses tomorrow night are not racing on all these lead-up races, I'm assuming. I don't know.
I don't think so, typically.
Yeah, they're resting.
Yeah, and the Kentucky Derby is specifically thoroughbreds that are 3 years old. So you have to be 3 years old and a thoroughbred in order to race in this particular race. And that's why you don't see the same horses from the year prior racing in the next year, because they've aged out.
Yeah.
All right, real quick, some exotic combinations. A straight, we already talked about that. That's when you pick the horse to win, or 2 horses in exacta. The box bet means boxing a bet means you're covering all available combinations, so that in exacta there are 2 possibilities. A trifecta has 6, and so on. You multiply the cost of your unit stake, which is $2 minimum, multiply that by the stake appropriately. So if you're doing a trifecta, in order to do a trifecta box, that's 6 $2 bets. So that would cost you $12.
Okay.
$12. And then keying a horse means you're taking it on top of itself by adding others behind it. So a trifecta key means choosing one horse you definitely think will win, and then any combination of other horses to fill second and third place behind it. Last but not least, before we join Alan Sandage, a wheel and a partial wheel. A wheel means you take the entire field in one leg of a wager, and a partial wheel is giving a number of horses in one leg of a wager. I know you understand that all now to a TJ Henley. We're going to dive into it with Alan Sandage, who's up there at Churchill Downs. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The afternoon underdogs.
And I do whatever it takes to be a champion. I've already told you that. If I was a baseball pitcher, I'd be spitting on the ball. I'd be putting Vaseline on that thing, whatever it takes to get that fastball a few extra curves and miles per hour.
There you go.
It's going to happen. If I got to cork my bat to get to third.
Sammy Sosa.
And like I said, in any sport like that, I'd put horseshoes in my boxing gloves.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Friday. For this afternoon and evening, some sun and a high of 82 with a gentle breeze out of the south-southwest around 11 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds with lows around 70. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a light breeze and a temperature near 83. Moving into Sunday, about the same with a high of 84 and mostly sunshine. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
Do you suffer from political talk radio fatigue? Tune into the most fun and exciting new radio show on the Gulf Coast. It's The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. From the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
You got to know when to hold on, know when to fold on, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money. Sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. A little gambler there by Jay Henley, bringing us in. Perfect timing, as a lot of gambling will be going on this weekend up there, all across the country, but very specifically in Louisville, Kentucky at Churchill Downs. And we're joined by our good friend. He's the sports director up there at ESPN Richmond, and he is in Louisville, Kentucky, getting ready for one of the biggest sports racing events in the world. Alan Sandage, how are you doing today?
I'm doing so much better.
Because of Jay's gambler, or just because you kind of settled down? I know you've been running around crazy this morning trying to get everything set up.
Man, look, it was a long road. Just put it that way. I was in it to win it. I made 2 stops in an 8-hour trip. I was very proud of myself.
That is impressive.
That last one was testing me, man.
Absolutely. So did you just arrive this morning?
Yeah, I got here when I texted you guys, right at 12:05.
Man,
yeah.
That's crazy. But you've made it. You're now with the hundreds of thousands of people that'll be enjoying the Kentucky Derby tomorrow. I know you've been betting on horses for a long time, and you're a huge horse race guy. What does it feel like to be in a place that some may call the Mecca of horse racing?
It still hasn't hit me yet, man. I got really excited when I was pulling up. And we're all getting shuttled over, so I'm in my car, so I didn't have any interference when I was talking to you guys. But you could tell people who've been here and people who it's their first time, their demeanor. And I was trying to be in between that, act like I've been here before, but also realizing that this is probably sporting wise, this is probably the biggest event it is the biggest event I've ever been to in my life.
Yeah, absolutely. I could correlate to the Masters a little bit. You kind of got the same thing. People saying the first time they've been there, it's this unbelievable thing, even for the people that have been there before. And then if you're a first timer and you don't want to just come off like, hey, this guy's really never been here before, you got to kind of blend those both two together.
Is there tailgating going on there, or how's it?
Is there tailgating going on? That's why people go to the Kentucky Derby.
Okay, I got you.
They've got the lot split up. All the tailgating and stuff, when I was driving over, looked like it was being done in the RV lot. But from what I've seen, they discourage people going straight to the track, and they want everybody to use the shuttles. So all the RV folks have their own separate lot. Military folks have their own separate lot. And then the commoners, the degenerates, and then people like me, that your lot just got filled, so you're in the overflow.
Yeah, there you go. But once you get into Churchill Downs, you'll be able to go up to where all the media goes, right?
Yeah, I should have media access, and I will be snooping around, looking to see who's up there and how it works. And then, as always, for me, I got to find a place where I can use my charger, because there's a lot going on this phone when horse racing is going on.
Oh, I could only imagine. Are you going to try to get down to the paddocks and get some pre-race looks at the horses in the race?
I was thinking about trying to do that tomorrow because it's kind of sloppy out here today.
Yeah,
it's supposed to clear up. Yeah, it's supposed to clear up a little tomorrow. Figure I'll try that tomorrow to kind of build it up because they're doing a promotion at our horse track back home is owned by the Churchill Group. So they're doing a cross promotion where the folks back home get to go to Colonial Downs and they'll do a viewing party in like their luxury box area. And so I was going to do some promotion of that on social media because I'm here live, and then they'll simulcast it.
So I'm gonna ask you. You're talking about it, that's awesome that they're doing that too. But you're talking about it was raining this morning. I think it's rained a little bit going into this thing. Is a Churchill Downs a racetrack like I compare it to, again, I'm going to go back to Augusta. They have the ability to control what that ground does. Is it just they're on dirt and whatever happens with the weather dictates on what that track's going to perform?
Yeah, it's actually very similar to Augusta in the sense that this is the best horse racing track in the world at making it runnable no matter how much it rains. Since I've been watching, and obviously I don't have the history as a lot of our older degenerates, but since I've been watching, I think 2018 or whatever Justify won was probably the wettest I've ever seen it. Like it was basically underwater, and they were still able to make that thing runnable. And for the most part today, the horses today will have a sloppier track per se because it's a misty, wet rain. But tomorrow, I would expect the track condition to still stay fast.
Yeah, there you go, Jay. Fast. Jay knows all which horses to pick that are fast. That's for sure.
For my horse, I need that actually. Believe it or not, I boxed myself in this year.
Now, is there any aerodynamically things that we got to look at?
Aerodynamically things. I like that.
Yeah. Like
astute.
The smaller ears on a horse, will that be less wind resistant or any of that nature?
No, I've got superstitions on horses' colors. Like the gray horses, I love a gray filly, which is a female horse. I love them, man. They always win for me. But when it comes to this, you're essentially the collection of the best minus Bob Bamford horses. At the end of the day, all these horses are deserving to be here, and it's just down to who wants it more and who's the best horse.
Yeah, absolutely. Good question, Jay, though, with the ears and the aerodynamics. It's the same thing people ask about you playing golf. All right, Alan, we had a scratch yesterday. Encino has been scratched, and I believe they added in Epic Ride, if I'm not mistaken. But let's talk a little bit about some of these horses. Obviously, you've got the favorites out there, but then you've got a lot in that 10 to 20 to 1 range. And, a long shot, doesn't necessarily mean they're not going to win the Kentucky Derby. I think it was it 2 years ago that an 80 to 1 horse won? Maybe.
Rich Strike.
That's right.
I was talking about that on the air yesterday, actually. Rich, let me just paraphrase that, though, because I know a lot of people will take that into consideration. That race was an anomaly. I've never seen horses out of control like that before. Like, I compared it to when I take my 6-year-old to the trampoline park, and they strap on that little wristband, and then they just open the gate and all the kids run in. That's essentially what happened in that race. Like, they loaded them up, and when that gate flew open, I mean, every single horse except Rich Strike took off like they had never run a race in their life. I mean, it was the most blistering pace I had seen in years in any race. It was incredible. And so Rich Strike had to be navigated, which was a phenomenal job, probably the best jockey job I've seen in that type of race in a long time, too. But for him to be such a deep closer and to get up front, like, he needed that kind of pace. So be careful, because if you get a slow pace and you bet on a Rich Strike, they're not even going to touch the board.
Yeah, and like you said, when you have a win like that, there has to be some kind of thing out of the norm with horse racing that happens for a horse like that to make it happen. Jay wants to know how important the jockeys are to winning the Kentucky Derby. He asked that to me yesterday on the show.
The jockeys, honestly, the jockey and the horse, it depends on the caliber of the horse. So if the horse, like in my case, like my horse is good, but he's not great. He needs his jockey. In the case of the favorite, Fierceness, if Fierceness runs like it did in the Florida Derby, doesn't need a jockey. I don't even think he even touched them. Like the
AI jockey,
right?
But then there have been some Kentucky Derbies where you need a masterclass horseman and you need a masterclass horse. Like everything has to come together. But I think in this year's field, jockey, I would do a premium on jockeys because all these horses have their ups and downs.
Gotcha. There you go, Jay. There you go. Very cool. All right, Alan, let's talk about pole positions a little bit. Obviously, you know, Sierra Leone is the second favorite right now with 3-1, Catching Freedom at 8-1. But as you were mentioning, Fierceness, the overwhelming favorite at 5-2. Out there on the outside, whereas the number 2 odd horse, Sierra Leone, is right there inside close. You know, what is it about being that number 1 or close to the fence that doesn't necessarily tend to lead to much success at the Kentucky Derby?
And in the past, when they had the old gates, it was basically a death sentence. Like you just couldn't get through the traffic. Like you would immediately get pinned down, and then that was it. Because it used to be 2 separate gates, is my understanding. Now it's just one long 20 horse gate. It helps the inside horse a little bit. They don't get pinned down as much, but still, you got to think most of these horses have never raced against fields more than 12, probably. And so you've got 20 horses. You got to navigate that traffic. So if you're not out first and you're on the inside, there's 17, 18 other horses that have to come down and get to that inside position as quick as possible because they're going around that first turn. They don't want to be too wide.
There you go, Jay. There you go. All right, Alan, let's dive right into it. For everybody, hopefully Hard Rock will be pushing these Kentucky Derby bets out pretty soon. As they are not up there yet. But we also have a track here locally that not a horse track. It used to be a greyhound track, but they still allow horse betting at that particular track. So for everybody listening, all our friends here in Northwest Florida, what are some of the I know you have a horse that you like, but, you know, if you were doing, obviously, we talked to Jay in the previous segment, educated him on all the different types of horse bets. What are some of the horses you're looking at, you know, to win this thing, and then maybe a horse in that 10 to 20 range that maybe has an opportunity to surprise some people?
So the 2 favorites, Fierceness and Sierra Leone, are deserving of their odds. Fierceness comes in off of the most noticeable win, and he looks the best. But, you know, in gambling terms, I feel like he's going to be really chalky. So unless you're betting a lot of money, you're not going to get a lot in return once he hits the gate. Like, he's 5'2" now. He'll be close to even, probably, at the start of the race. And then he also comes with the ability to run in the mud and on a dry surface. So I feel like it'll be a really popular bet. Sierra Leone is second, and Tyler Gasleon, I think, is the rider for him. And Sierra Leone's a closer. Even though it's like I don't like the inside post, if there was a horse that could overcome that, it would be Sierra Leone. And a lot of that actually has to do with the jockey's racing style. Tyler doesn't like to get out front early. He's perfectly fine with navigating through traffic, and he likes to swing out wide and then close in late. That would probably help Sierra Leone. But if you bet her or bet him, sorry, because they're all male horses, if you bet him, don't freak out if you don't see him on the screen in the first quarter of the race, because some of that's just positioning. And then I'm going to skip Catching Freedom, which is the third betting option, but talk about the Japanese horse Forever Young. Forever Young, Japanese horses don't do well at the Kentucky Derby. I've watched Forever Young run a couple times on the Saudi Cup and the Saudi Derby. And the trainers and Japanese horse racing has been making leaps and bounds. And this year they bought Forever Young over early, which is something they've never done for a Japanese horse. And I think that could be advantageous. The distance, I think, actually might not affect Forever Young as much as everybody else, because most of the races that Forever Young has run in Japan and in Saudi Arabia have been pretty long distance. And I wouldn't be surprised if it comes in around 6-1, but I would definitely throw that in any bet that you have if you're doing I heard you guys talking about trifectas and stuff. If you're building one, definitely don't skip over Forever Young.
Yeah, no, good stuff. And speaking of, some of those exactas and trifectas, and we'll just box it for the sake of what we're talking about today. Who are obviously some of those? Is there any of the higher odds horses that you'd throw into some of those? Anybody that gets your attention?
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Honor Marie. I don't know if I'm in on it yet, But I feel like Honor Marie could be a sneaky horse to come up just for a show, which is a third place finish. And then my horse that I like is actually one of the longer odds. It's a 20-1. So, which is a little unusual for me. I don't think I've been higher than 12-1 on a Derby race before.
But you're at the Derby this year, so if there was a year for it to happen, it's this year.
Yeah, but I picked this horse before I even got approved for the credential. I'd already picked this horse. That's what makes it funny.
Even better. All right, which horse is that?
Resilience. I really like Resilience. Believe it or not, Resilience and Fierceness were actually conceived on the same farm. There's a picture of. No, it's funny. There's a picture of them. There's a picture of them as they call them foils. There's a picture of them together. So I thought it was kind of ironic that I don't really like Fierceness, but I like Resilience. And then the freaking jockey for Resilient went and switched to Fierceness. So it's like I got a whole nother rivalry now. Like I got a whole grudge to hold against the horse and the jockey.
There you go. That sounds about right. That reminds me, when you got like two guys that make it to the NFL and they grew up playing like, pee-wee football together and they show a picture of them. When you were talking about the horses being born on the same farm, it'd be great if somebody took like a little meme of them together and then put it together with two football players. See, I might do
that actually.
You should. We're all connected.
I'll send it to you. I'll send you the picture that I got offline. But I didn't know that. I did pick Resilience initially off of pedigree, and then I was looking at the speed figures and watching some of the races. And honestly, this is a gamble. But the horse has jumped 8 points in its speed figures, and it's practicing like it's going to make another jump. It's been running really good. It's got the perfect running style. It's just the conditions. Again, it's not really a horse that likes to run in the mud. So as long as the track is fast, I think I have a good shot. The jockey has the right style to do this. Similar to what, and this jockey has won almost 13, 14 million in the last year. Actually, the jockey won the $20 million race in Saudi Arabia. He was on top of Senor Bushka, I think is the name of that horse. But his last name's Alvarado. He's actually I think he's one of the up and coming jockeys. So I'm very confident in this horse hitting at a high price and still finding a way to be competitive.
Who's the horse?
Not even the trainer, who's the Hall of Famer.
There you go.
Alan, who's the horse that's probably going to have a little performance anxiety coming Saturday night?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's Fierceness. That's why I'm not picking Fierceness. Yeah. And I only say that because that Florida Derby, I am very well versed in Florida Derby trends when it comes to Kentucky Derby. I think it's produced probably the most winners, or close to it, like 15 or 20. But anyway, the Florida Derby, I feel like that was the weakest Florida Derby field I've seen in a long time. And Fierceness just took off running, and nobody ever challenged him. And he ran the race of his life. But it's one of those things where I think he peaked early. If there's some adversity, which we've seen before out this horse, if there's a little bit of adversity, he could not run the race that he wants to run. If the pace pushes this horse to try to match it faster than it wants to be, he can tire out. And one thing about this race is it's 10 furlongs, which is 1.25 miles, and these horses have never run this far. So it's hard to anticipate that you will see this horse stretch out if that pace is picked up, because Florida Derby was slow. It was slow. The splits were slow. It wasn't even challenging. It was more like a warm up, if anything.
Cool. Yeah, there you go, Alan. Before we let you go, what is one person, if they're new to horse racing betting, that you would recommend for these big Triple Crown races?
I would bet closers or horses that stalk or off pace for the Kentucky Derby. I would bet speed and the Preakness. And honestly, I don't know what to tell you about the Belmont Stakes this year because it's at Saratoga, and that's a track that, even though it's pretty famous, I don't typically cap it. So I've got to go do my research in the next month or so and hope I can get some data and kind of figure out how that runs. But Saratoga is going to be 9 1/4. So I would assume maybe cap it just like you do the Kentucky Derby based on the distance.
Yeah, similar length. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Well, Alan, we appreciate your time. I can hear it in your voice how excited you are to be there at Churchill Downs. Enjoy what many would say is a bucket list experience, especially being able to do it with some media credentials and the horse racing degenerate that you are. I appreciate you taking some time out of obviously a busy time for you to talk a little horse racing with us down here in ESPN Northwest Florida.
Yeah, and I usually don't do this, but I'll plug ESPN Richmond, our Instagram, because if you want to, or Facebook, I'll do live updates on the track surface tomorrow. So if people are really interested and they want to know firsthand like what it looks like, I'll have some stuff on there if they want to just follow for the weekend.
There you go. That's awesome. I'm going to check that out myself because, we get to see it through the eyes and the lens of Alan Sandage. Alan, enjoy the time there at the Kentucky Derby. Look forward to talking to you, and good luck with all your picks.
All right, take care.
All right, enjoy, Alan. That was Alan Sandage live from Churchill Downs, Jay Henley. When we get back, we don't know what song you're going to play us in with, but we're excited. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're taking the Inside Drive.
Sometimes if it's someone that I haven't seen in like 10 plus years and I'm kind of like trying to figure out if it's them or not, so I kind of wait till they make like a facial recognition and then it's like, all right.
I've done that.
Like the other night.
I've done that a million times.
That was AI generated facial recognition.
Middays 11 to 1. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Your safety and proper care of your boat in an emergency is crucial. When it comes to on-water assistance, response time is everything. And since 1996, in the Bay or on the Gulf, it's Sea-Tow. Sea-Tow's Coast Guard licensed captains are on the scene in an average of 1 hour or less. Sea-Tow gets members home or back to boating faster. Become a member today at seatow.com or call 850-234-2323.
We're starting fresh.
Fresh new start.
Locally sourced, Farm to Radio. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is live and local. From the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Well, I was raised up beneath the shade of a Georgia pine. That's home, you know. Sweet tea, pecan pie, homemade wine. The peaches grow. My house, it's not much to talk about. It's filled with love that's grown in the southern ground. Do a little bit of chicken fried, cold beer on a Friday night, pair of jeans that fits just right, the radio on.
And welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive. Little Zach Brown Band there by Jay Henley right here in studio. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Good stuff, Jay Henley. You got all your bets ready from Alan Sandage?
Yes, I do.
He's excited. I can hear it in his voice. We've had him on the show a lot, but that's probably the most excited I've heard Alan. And, the big horse gambling guy he is where it all goes to. He just sent us a bunch of information on those horses. And, you got to take it all in because the more information you have when it comes to horse racing, the better, unless you have an anomaly race.
I'm waiting for Hard Rock Bets to get this on.
I know. I'm surprised not. But I could understand why, because those horse odds change constantly all the way up until the post post time. So keep an eye on those. We'll keep you updated. Well, we'll keep you updated for another hour and 45 minutes anyway. Then it's up to you and the afternoon underdogs, and we'll be back on Monday. But Jay, I forgot to mention in the beginning of the show, so excited about your guitar and the horse racing, that don't forget, you got to find that post on our ESPN Northwest Florida page. That's the Inside Drive 1-year anniversary giveaway. We've got a ton of awesome prizes that somebody is going to be very, very happy with. And all you got to do is go find that post, share that post, tag 3 friends in the post, but make sure obviously you like both our Instagram and our Facebook page to be eligible for that. Jay, what are you giving away in the 1-year anniversary giveaway?
1 hour golf lesson.
And it doesn't have to be a golf lesson, folks. It can just be 1 hour of Jay's undivided attention.
There you go.
It can be any topic. It could be golf. It could be a date. It could be a movie. Well, it can't be a movie unless it's an hour long. Short film.
Yeah,
Short film.
you got that.
But a 1 hour lesson with Jay Henley there out at Bay Point Golf Club. And speaking of Bay Point Golf Club, we'll throw it around to 2 for 2 golfers there as well. So you could do a lesson and a round of 2, make it all one big happy package. We've got Inside Drive t-shirt and a hat. We've got a Firefly $150 gift card, an American Charlie's $100 gift card, a full detail from Bill Kramer GM, a Golf Plus package that includes a logo Vibe insulated cup, golf towel, sleeve of Pro V1s, double brush T-Pack, $10 coupon, some coasters, stickers, all sorts of cool stuff from our good friend Alan Watson over there at Golf Plus, and then also a $75 gift card to Christo's Sports Bar and Grill. That could keep you going for a while.
You got that right.
Can they break up the 1 hour into multiple 30-minute sessions?
Absolutely. Why not?
I'm not meaning to put you on the spot. You can say no. It's okay.
I mean, an hour's an hour.
Stop. We're keeping time.
It takes me an hour and a half to watch 60 minutes.
It does. It takes you a minute to go 30 seconds.
There you go. Yep.
It's kind of the same thing, I guess.
Right.
Something like that. But yeah, Kentucky Derby, I think post time for us is about 5:20 here in the Central Time Zone. Eastern Time Zone usually, if I just remember from growing up, it was always around 6:20. Google real quick, post time Kentucky Derby.
Post time.
Post time.
Now, what does post time mean?
It's what the post is. That's what they put
when okay. Kentucky Derby.
Yep. Rod us to the paddock, please.
2024 post time, and the results are in, and it's 6:57 Eastern Standard
57. Dang, that's late.
Mm-hmm.
So
5:57 our time.
Yeah, 5:57 our time. It's almost 7 Eastern Time Zone. That's a long day to be drinking mint juleps all day long.
Right. Yeah.
How many people are going to make it?
And then you got Cinco de Mayo following that.
The next day.
I hope everybody's liver is going to be all right this week.
That can be, how do you say mint in Espanol?
Say what?
Mint in Espanol.
Mente
julep. There you go. I'm sure it's something along those lines. But yeah, big weekend down here. Minta juleps for everybody.
There you go.
That'll be good. And the big hats. I got an afternoon delight debrief segment about the big hats and the story of how they came to be and who's the person kind of responsible for them. We got a couple fun, more sports related today, kind of topical afternoon delight debriefs. And then, of course, whatever you have to say, Jay, we will take that as well. Mention the contest. Don't forget to get on. I still haven't pinned that in the top of the page. I need to do that before I leave today because it's not one of the things I can do from the app. I think I got to do it from my computer. But
you got to do that, huh? That's from Raising Arizona. You got to do that, huh?
Nice. Didn't know we were going to raise an Arizona reference today, but here we are. All right, NHL, NBA action. I know you didn't watch any, so I'm going to tell you about what happened. David Hayes and Doc Hayes, Indiana Pacers, moving on to the second round after they took the Bucks a little bit to the woodshed yesterday. I know the Bucks missing a couple players, but still really didn't matter. 120-98 yesterday, and Indiana is moving on to the second round. Let me see. Do you know who they're playing yet, David Hayes? I'm going to pull up the NBA bracket real quick. Let's see.
I don't. I don't know who they're playing.
Bracket. Watch this. We're going to roll.
Probably Boston.
Yeah, if they the Knicks. The Knicks, and that was the other game last night. It kind of came down to the wire, 3-point hit there late in the game to go up by 3, but a lot of back and forth. That was an intense series. Those two fan bases, that was good basketball and just intense. But yes, the Knicks came away with a 4-2 series victory there after they beat the 76ers last night, 118-115. So they are in a crash course to play the Indiana Pacers in the second round. Indiana Pacers, the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference, but knocked down the number 3 seed pretty easily in that one. That's going to be a fun series, a little old school basketball there. What'd you say yesterday? A little Reggie Miller, Patrick Ewing kind of stuff going on?
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a battle.
Yeah.
It's going to be a battle.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see if they can, if the Pacers can outlast little Villanova NBA.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. That is for
Josh
sure.
Hart, DiVincenzo, Jalen Brunson, man. And they play good together, man. And did you see the ending of that game, like the goaltending?
Yeah.
Call? Man, that was a close one. That was very close. But it was, like you said, man, the fan bases made that series a lot of fun to watch.
It's intense. And they're not that far away from one another either.
Yeah.
It takes a long time, but as far as geographically, you're not talking about from Madison Square Garden there in Manhattan to Philadelphia. It's not really that far.
That's not too far.
Two places I always used to go on field trips when I was growing up.
Philadelphia and Manhattan?
And New York, yeah.
New York?
Yeah. Liberty Science Center in Jersey City. Statue of Liberty.
Did it feel different over in Philly than it did in New York?
Yeah, I mean, they're different cities.
Yeah, but
both very historical.
Historical.
Liberty Bell. You ever seen the Liberty Bell?
I never have.
Man. Statue of Liberty?
Nope.
Ellis Island?
Nope.
Man.
Yeah, I got to get out.
You do.
Yeah.
We do. We got to get you up there.
I know.
That's really the only reason. But, speaking of hockey, you know who won last night? Going to Game 7.
The Maple Leafs.
The Maple Leafs.
Yes.
The last two games, I'll tell you what, the Maple Leafs have looked very, very strong. Just a 2-1 victory. It was 3-2 a couple days ago. But I was talking to our good friend Marty from Boston, and, the goal that happened, I don't know if you saw it last night or not, David, but it was tied 1-1 most of the third period, and then the Maple Leafs got one in after it hit McAvoy, the defenseman, on kind of his side as he was standing right in front of the goalie and just got past Swayman, and the rest was history. And I said, Tin Cup will do that to you. That's for sure. But that's one of those things, like when you're playing defense, you're trying to help block, you're trying to have position in front of the net. But if you're screening your own goalie, you either got to get out of the way or completely block the shot. And, easier said than done. But, I mean, that doesn't happen. It's intense. But that Game 7 in Boston coming up, I believe, let me see, I think it's on Saturday. Yes, it is Saturday at 7 p.m., our first Game 7 of the NHL season. It's going to be, Game 7 in hockey playoffs that's peak.
Unmatched.
That is peak, especially if it goes into overtime. Whew, that's intense. But kudos to the Maple Leafs coming back, winning the last two by a goal each. They're fighting. And does Boston get eliminated again in the first round this year? What do you think?
Who did they get eliminated to last year?
The House Money Cats. They were up 3-0 and they lost 4 straight.
Ooh, that's right.
It's a little bitter. What do you think?
I think they...
You've been high on the Maple Leafs. You picked them to win yesterday.
Well, I just don't think bad luck strikes twice. It sounds like Boston had bad luck last year. I think Boston pretty much pulls this one out over Toronto.
Okay.
I can attest to bad luck does strike twice.
Oh, okay. All right.
This is the personal side of things.
Is it bad luck or is it poor play?
I'm trying to keep these positive vibes going.
Oh, there you go. We could have positive vibes and reality all mixed into one.
Yeah. The blend of that is the success, the key to life. That is for sure. A couple games coming up tonight on the NBA side. Your Orlando Magic trying to extend the series. They're at home taking on Cleveland. That's 6 p.m. tonight on ESPN. Cleveland wins that one. They're moving on to the second round to play let me find where they would go.
And it would have to be Boston.
Boston Celtics, absolutely. And it's going to be a tough task for whoever wins that one. But can the Orlando Magic add another Game 7? Can they get one done at home tonight and then go back to Cleveland and steal one on the road? What do you think, Jay?
I'm rooting for that Orlando Magic.
You got to.
Yeah,
right?
you got to.
It's a Florida team.
Yep, and it's in Orlando, so, they've been playing decent.
Typically when they, okay, yes. I thought you were saying it is in Orlando as they are the Orlando Magic. So I was going to say, typically when they name a team after the city that they're in, they play in that city. But you meant they're at home.
Right.
And they've been playing good at home.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the Dallas Mavericks, after their big whooping the other night against the Clippers, have a chance now to win that series at home. They are up 3-2. Dallas is a 7.5-point favorite in that one. Orlando's a 3.5-point favorite in that one. If the Mavs do go on to win that game tonight, they'll face the Oklahoma City Thunder, the number 1 seed, and then we'll be ready to go for that second round, which gets started this weekend. NHL tonight, Jay, we've got 2 games on the dockets, 2 chances to clinch. You got the Canucks at the Predators. The Canucks are currently up 3-2. Can Nashville get the win tonight and go force a Game 7 back in Vancouver?
I got to go with the Canucks. Yeah.
You were on the Predators there for a little while. You switched into the old Canadian Vancouver Canucks.
Yep.
He just likes that anthem.
That's true.
That's right.
That's true.
Hit it for me, Ryan.
No.
Oh, Canada.
Do you know what language it's in?
Is it French?
No, the original one, yes.
Oh.
Yes, Canada's second.
I don't think I've ever heard it in
French.
Maybe if I was watching like the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, you probably have. It's just, how often you really don't see the national anthems before games really until you get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, you see them a little bit in the NHL, but I can't really think of much when you don't. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I think the Predators get it done tonight and force a Game 7. I think they lose over there in Vancouver in Game 7. And then, of course, your Dallas Stars, Jay, going against the Las Vegas Knights, defending Stanley Cup champion. Only 3 teams in the last however many years, we talked about it yesterday, have gone up 2-0 after winning the Stanley Cup in their series and gone on to lose that series after going up 2-0. I think it happened to the Red Wings twice and another team once. But it's in Las Vegas. It was the away team won the first 4 games, and then Dallas flipped that last week, and they won it, last game and won it home. But Vegas has to win this one to force a Game 7. Vegas is actually the favorite money line in this game. What do you think? Golden Knights or Dallas Stars?
Well, we're going to divide the wealth. I just don't think Las Vegas is going to go back-to-back, so I'm going to go Dallas Stars.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they get eliminated in the first round.
Yep.
Because it still has 2 more rounds to get to the Stanley Cup Finals after this.
Yeah, they're gone.
So so first round exit, defending Stanley Cup champions. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I would like to see them. I just love that. It's if you get a chance and you're actually not watching 60 Minutes, and you flip it over. That's a later night game, so you'll probably be asleep. It's on TNT, 9 p.m. First, the puck will be dropped. Yeah, it's usually about 9:10. The intro of what Vegas does prior to a game is pretty spectacular. You think of Vegas and you got the shows. It's the same thing. It's a big production, all that stuff. But I encourage you to at least check out one, because if they get eliminated, there goes your opportunity to see it again.
And that's Saturday night.
No, that's tonight.
Oh, that's tonight.
That's tonight. 9 p.m. TNT.
There's a chance I'll still be up.
Maybe.
Small chance.
You got no lessons today. It's kind of your chill day. So you better stay up a little bit late tonight. All right, it's top of the hour. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back with our Afternoon Delight debrief.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Nick Saban is the only, O-N-L-Y, the only coach who's ever drafted a player at every position. And I'm thinking to myself, what about Bobby Bowden?
Did he have a snapper, deep snapper?
Oh, come on.
Did he have a holder?
Ever had a
Did he have a left wing man? He did not have an up back, a safety up back. That's what he didn't have. Alabama did. Take that.
Weekday morning 7 to 9, ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Friday. For this afternoon and evening, some sun and a high of 82 with a gentle breeze out of the south-southwest around 11 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds with lows around 70. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a light breeze and a temperature near 83. Moving into Sunday, about the same with a high of 84 and mostly sunshine. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Did you know that fees associated with real estate closings are virtually the same from one title company to the next? So what sets South Oak Title apart? Effective communication, customer service, expertise, and technology. If you're buying or selling real estate, refinancing a residential or commercial property, tell your realtor you want to close with South Oak Title. South Oak Title, with locations across the Southeast, including Panama City Beach, Inlet Beach, Destin, and Fort Walton Beach. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
If you spend any time at all in your yard, you're going to encounter fire ants.
We know they can ruin a party. That's why we're this area's experts at fire ant elimination.
As your certified top choice professional, we will rid your yard of these unwanted invaders. Brock Pest is so sure they'll get rid of fire ants that they offer a 1-year guarantee.
Enjoy your yard fire ant free. We guarantee it. Give us a call for your free consultation.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, our family protecting yours since 1968.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
For The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey and Jay Henley.
This man is destroying golf.
Broadcasting live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
You may be right, but our ratings are up and we're attracting new youthful sponsors.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe along the beautiful Forgotten Coast. You can watch us and listen on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Just search ESPN Northwest Florida. If you head over to your Google Play or Apple Store, you can also find our free mobile app where you can listen live anywhere you have an internet connection. That one, when you search it up, though, as the kids say, you have to add a little 104.3 or 104.3 in front of that ESPN Northwest Florida to find it. You can also go to ESPNPC.com. You can listen live wherever you go on that as well. Jay, we're sitting inside these beautiful Bill Kramer GM and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. Where can you find them?
Corner of 23rd and Frankfurt.
I'm just trying to. Oh, you said
Frankfurt or Frankfurt?
It's Frankfurt. But you usually say 23rd before Frankfurt. I always say Frankfurt and 23rd.
Oh,
Street.
you do.
But I was testing you to see if you'd mix it up, and I thought you did at first. But
23rd's the main drag.
It is. It is.
But
Frankfurt and 23rd. Or 23rd and Frankfurt. What sounds smoother?
To me, 23rd and Frankfurt.
Then I'm all changed.
Okay.
23rd and Frankfurt Street, right there. Frankfurt Ave. 23rd Street and Frankfurt Ave. It's the mecca of boat and car dealerships. You got Bill Kramer GM right there. Lots of new vehicles in stock. 5, 10, 15, 20,000 off select new MSRP on new vehicles. They've also got express service, regular service, tires at cost, all your vehicle needs right there at Bill Kramer GM. And then it is, if you want to get out there, you just can't be in the no-fly zone, but if you want to get out there and watch without having to fight the traffic, buy yourself a boat.
Yep.
And then just go out there in the Gulf and watch it from the other side. You just got to stay out of that zone, but that zone will be marked off. That's a heck of a reason to go buy a boat, right, Jay?
You got that right. Traffic on the ground, traffic in the air.
That's it. Go out in the water.
Absolutely.
And there's one place you can get that boat. That's Kramer Marine and Outdoor, selling Seabourn, Sundance, Spider, and Skeeter right there at KramerMarineandOutdoor.com. If you need to get your boat fixed to get it back out of the water, you can either bring it to them or they'll come to you and get it fixed up. That mecca there of boat and car dealerships at the corner of 23rd and Frankfurt Avenue. Jay, we talked this morning, and there was a story that you were telling me about, and I was like, oh, you got to tell that in the Afternoon Delight segment. And, of course, guess what?
We forgot
it. That's twice. That was a good one, too, though. It's going to come to you. I can feel it.
I've got one, and if you're an Arkansas Razorback fan, I'm sorry, not sorry.
Hey, I know several of them, so let it fly. Yeah.
All right, so Beyond Meat COO arrested for biting a man's nose near the Razorback Stadium. So,
I mean, you can still be a Razorback.
What's the irony of this?
That's very ironic.
COO Doug Ramsey was arrested after allegedly biting a man's nose in an Arkansas parking garage following a college football game. I guess this happened a few months ago.
Hey, that's fine.
Ramsey, 53, was charged with terroristic threatening and third-degree battery and booked in the Washington County, Arkansas jail on Saturday evening. He was released Sunday, according to the Washington County information page. That particular Sunday, Ramsey and Beyond Meat did not immediately respond to requests to comment for CNBC. The altercation happened in a parking garage near Donald Reynolds Razorback Stadium in Fayetteville after a University of Arkansas football game, according to preliminary police report. Ramsey allegedly punched through the back windshield of a Subaru after it made contact with the front tire of Ramsey's car. The Subaru owner then got out of his car, and Ramsey allegedly started punching him and biting his nose.
Interesting.
Ripping the flesh right off the tip of his nose.
Whew.
Almost like a Evander Holyfield.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And he said he's the COO of Beyond Meat.
Beyond Meat.
So that's ironic on like 37 different ways, right? Because it sounds like the guy needed some meat and protein in his life, and maybe he wouldn't have been so aggressive.
Right.
Because Beyond Meat, is the plant-based, meat, which if it's plant-based, it's not meat.
Right.
But that's neither here nor there. So maybe he was just a little extra aggressive because he needed some of that good red meat in his life. And, secondly, they say Subarus are very safe, but how's this guy punching through the back windshield of one?
No kidding.
That's
I don't
impressive.
Get it. That is impressive.
I don't know how I could go through without my hand just shattering. Again, it goes back. Maybe he should have had a regular burger.
He went after it, man.
It did.
That plant-based is no good.
Not for aggression, anyway.
Yeah.
That is not fact here, but we're just putting it out there here on the Inside Drive.
Well, you got to have grade A USDA meat.
Cab.
Yeah, that's right. This was grade A USDA meat. It was somebody's tip of their nose.
Ooh, it was. Maybe that's bingo. That's why he had a bite of the nose.
That's right.
He needed some real meat.
Oh, boy, their stock fell 73%. dragging its market cap down like $1 billion.
Due to that incident or just since then?
Let's see. Since then. I mean, it has been a very disappointing year since for that company.
Maybe the guy shouldn't have bit the nose, but he just wanted some real protein. I get it. Don't get in the way of people when they're not eating meat.
You got that right. We're man eaters. Or we're
no. I mean, some of
we're steak eaters. We're
meat eaters.
We're meat eaters.
Yes, also known as carnivores.
Yes, carnivores.
She's a man eater. Man, we just went to what was out there in Colorado where they started eating each other?
Carnivores.
No, I'm not asking you. I'm asking David. There was that. What was it? I'm drawing my mind. My short-term memory is going to crap.
Cannibal carnival.
Yeah, there was the people, the Lewis and Clark expedition. Didn't they end up eating some of the people that passed because they had no food? Maybe it wasn't Lewis and Clark.
Is it Jeffy Dahmer?
Jeffy.
You got him a little nickname now.
Oh man, he's not Jeff anymore. He's not Jeffrey. He's Jeffy Dahmer.
Jeffy.
What's in your freezer, Jeffy?
Whew. That took a turn.
It
turned. Yeah. Can plant-based meat turn?
That's a good question.
It's not meat though. It's beyond meat.
That's great.
Beyond meat.
Can it spoil? That's our next poll question. Can plant-based meat spoil?
Impossible.
I gotta write it down.
Yeah, I mean, you got to. Where's the old business card Friday?
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm missing out on that.
I know. Yeah,
I'm disappointed.
Haven't been collecting lately.
You need to get out there and collect some more.
That's right.
Man, you threw me for a loop in this segment.
Yeah, that was
good.
Way off.
That was good. All right, I don't have anything nearly compared to that, but I was going to talk about the woman behind the Kentucky Derby's most coveted hats. Not as cool as people biting people's noses and plant-based meat and aggression and Jeffy Dahmer. That's what they call him in the clink.
Right.
Jeffy, that's his nickname, but I'm assuming he's in isolation. But he may not even be with us anymore.
Yeah, I don't think
he's not.
Yeah. You knew that so matter-of-factly.
Yeah.
Well, they just had some big documentaries on him.
Oh, yeah.
About a year ago.
Well, we saw Dusty Slay last Friday, and he had a Jeffrey Dahmer and a Ted Bundy mix-up there, and with one of his conversations. I told the story, I think, on Monday, where he was at this place, and this drunk girl came up to him and was like, if you didn't have those glasses on, I'd make love to you right now. and she called him Jeffrey Dahmer glasses, and he got Jeffrey Dahmer and Ted Bundy confused when he was responding to her. So it's funny you brought back Jeffy.
Yeah.
Full circle from the beginning of the week to the end of the week.
He does. Look, now that I think about it, he does. Yeah. Dusty Slay's got those Jeffrey Dahmer glasses.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
That's why she said it.
That's hilarious.
Yep.
Yeah.
But there's a whole other big, long part of that bit that was hilarious. And I, of course, don't remember it verbatim, but we're going to move right along. So this isn't as cool. It's not as wild. It's not as funny, but topical with the Kentucky Derby coming up tomorrow. This is from The Athletic. It was from May 1st. The woman behind the Kentucky Derby's most coveted hats. The hat becomes part of you. It's a crisp, sunny morning in late March, 40 days until the Kentucky Derby. In a small midtown Manhattan studio in a showroom filled to the brim with towers of handmade hats, one of the projects on this week's docket, a hat requiring 150 handmade silk roses. God bless you. One for each year of the Kentucky Derby's unbroken history. 150 years, Jay. It's a long time. Mm-hmm. Each rose is individually cut and sewn here on site. We've made 44 roses so far, says Carol Sola, Director of Operations for sales of Christine A. Moore Millany, which leaves only 106 roses to be sewn before the first Saturday in May. Christine Moore is the woman behind many of the Derby's most coveted hats. She has built her early working career on Broadway shows before opening her own shop and focusing on the millinery, the craft of hat making, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Millinery, Millinery, is the craft of hat making. Something you may want to look into, Jay. Moore was first featured as the milliner for the Kentucky Derby and received the commission of the Kentucky Colonel and Governor Andy Brashear in 2022. The celebrities who have worn her hats top the A-list: Katy Perry, Jennifer Lopez. Among her numerous clients, Moore has hats at appearances in shows like Gossip Girl, Nashville, The Carrie Diaries. During Derby hat season, which roughly starts in January, they'll ship out upwards of 1,000 hats, all designed and crafted here in this small studio. And now I'm here to find my Derby hat. It's possible that Moore's most famous hat was a Kentucky Derby was a Kentucky Derby commission in 2009. Worn by Patty Ethington of Shelbyville, Kentucky, the red hat was designed to look like a massive flower and could fit 3 people under its brim. A photo from the day went viral. I don't know if you remember seeing that one, Jay. That was a long time ago. The photo from the day went viral, and the rest is almost literally history. The hat ended up in the Kentucky Derby Museum for 10 years. Ethington is now known for their larger-than-life Derby hats. The bigger, the better, she says. This year, the 150th anniversary of the Derby, Ethington broke out the big red hat and is bringing it back. This is the first one that Christine made for me and is the one I am redoing this year, Ethington tells me. She and Moore worked together to adapt the hat to a new outfit without making any irreversible changes. We're putting the black in the hat so I can just add a little bit of different flair to it, but I will still bring it back to the original red hat that was in the museum. For Derby attendees, the dress to the nines fashion game is as much of the draw as the race itself, and honoring history is part of their calculations, especially on its 150th anniversary. I probably started planning my outfit for the Derby 3 months ago, and I knew I wanted to pay tribute to the Derby, says Priscilla Turner, another client of Moore's. I really wanted to match the caliber of the other people I know of what they're coming with. The story goes on, but you get the point.
Yeah.
How much do you think that hat cost?
Shoo.
150 sewn roses?
I caught something that caught my attention there. You could put 3 people in one of those hats.
Well, the brim of the hat that they made, this famous one back in 2009.
Wow.
They said it was so big that you can fit 3 people under the brim. I don't think 3 people in whatever you call I guess that would be the bowl of the hat, right?
Yeah.
Not the brim, the bowl where your head actually goes.
I got it.
So yeah, we were talking about this the other day too. It's kind of the thing. It's the Kentucky Derby thing.
Yeah.
You got to wear a big fancy hat and a dress and drink your mint julep or your mente julep.
Well, I remember going to church when I was a kid, and like all the ladies wore hats back in the day. I don't know if that even still exists today or not, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it's tradition.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. We still don't go to church apparently. We haven't seen the hats in a while. Back in the day, it's kind of sing it, Jay.
Old family tradition. Yep.
Oh, man. All right, I'm just going to let you take it from here the rest of the way.
You got it.
No, I don't. It's you. You got your shirt on.
I do.
Do you know, we'll talk about some more Kentucky. Do you got another one or no?
That's all I got.
You had one this morning that was so good in real life, and I'm so disappointed in my short-term memory now.
I'm right there with you.
I will tell it quick, and I probably told this story before. When I worked at Deal Country Club on the north end of the New Jersey shore, just south of Monmouth University, there's a pretty famous horse track there called Monmouth Park. They've hosted a Triple Crown before, or excuse me, what's the ends here? The Breeders' Cup. They've hosted a Breeders' Cup there before, but it was only about 10 minutes from Deal Country Club, which was where I was interning for 2 years, finishing up my stuff. And the intern, I always had to go take everybody's bets from the club to the racetrack, bet them, and then if they won anything, come back and give them their bets the next day. And our shoe guy, he knew all the members who owned horses and had all the inside information and all that stuff. So that was really my first introduction into horse racing. I did go to the Hambletonian one time on my birthday when I was a kid. My parents took me there, and the Hambletonian was at the Meadowlands, and the Hambletonian is chariot racing. And in chariot racing, horses cannot break stride. If they break stride, they're disqualified. So it's a trot. So whoever can trot the fastest. Kind of seems like what you would do in a race nowadays.
Does that got the chariot on the back or the buggy?
No, it's on the front.
Oh.
Where else would it be besides the back?
Well, isn't there a race where there's a horse on the buggies behind the horse and they're slapping the horse's rear end?
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just don't know. You said behind the horse. I don't know where else would it be besides behind the horse.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, and they got there's a jockey in there keeping them going. But they can't break, they can't run, they can't sprint. They have to trot.
Okay.
And the faster the trotting, the better. But anyway, so I always used to go, and it was the summertime because it was an internship. So a lot of races going on at Monmouth Park, and a lot of our members owned horses that raced at Monmouth Park. So I'd go collect all the money. The shoe guy would tell me, who everybody wants to bet on. I'd go to the park, hang out all afternoon, watch some races, play some bets, and be done, and then come back the next morning with any winnings that anybody may have.
Now, how much money are you holding for all these people?
Sometimes it was, a good chunk of money.
Really?
A good chunk of money, absolutely. And they trusted me to do it.
Hey.
I didn't let them down.
Right.
I mean, obviously you can find out if they won or not by looking at, the internet or newspapers. I mean, this would have been in 05 and 06. So, I mean, it wasn't that long. It was 20 years ago almost, but that was my introduction into horse racing.
So you show up at this horse park and
Monmouth Park. Yeah, it's a pretty big facility.
And it's almost like going to a bank and having like 40 different deposits, and you're like, oh, I got all these bets.
Yeah. You just go place all the bets, and pay the money. You got to keep that. Taught me how to be organized because you had to keep track of all the tickets. And then if it won, you had to go cash it. And I mean, it's race. And there are all sorts of different races. So you got to be on your toes.
This was before spreadsheets, Ryan.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, it wasn't?
The internet was around in the early 2000s.
I got you.
I think Microsoft Office came out, 95 was the first Office? Yeah. But yeah, no. I didn't use a spreadsheet for this one. I use them for a lot of things, but not for the betting there at Monmouth Park.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, beautiful facility.
I bet.
It was cool. It was my first introduction there into horse. And then, of course, further down the shore, in Atlantic City and all that, you got a lot of other horse tracks and different things to do. But and then, of course, moved for Aiken for a little while, and they had the steeplechase. You know what the steeplechase is?
What is the steeplechase?
That's where you're jumping over the bushes, and they usually have the water on the other side. And it's on a grass track versus typical your sprints and that kind of stuff are on dirt tracks.
Okay, so
that was cool. So you had the Triple Crown, I think is what they called it, in the spring, and then they had the steeplechase in the fall, and then of course they had polo. Do you know how long a furlong is?
Furlong.
Mm-hmm. That's how they measure horse race tracks.
And what's the question again?
Do you know how long one furlong is?
Boy, a mile.
No. That would be a lot.
A lot.
It's about how far you hit your, let's go with 3 iron if you had one.
A mile.
140. 140 yards.
1 furlong is 220 yards.
Yeah.
So now you know. Do you know how long the Kentucky Derby racetrack is?
45 furlongs.
Do you know what 45 times 220 is?
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
That would be a long race. For the record, I think at 1 minute and 57 seconds.
Let's go 14 furlongs.
Close, a little less.
It's 11.
No, it's 10. A little eve 10. 10 furlongs is the Kentucky Derby, which equates to 1 1/4 miles.
Ooh.
So if you were, what you were saying would have been that's like a Daytona Rolex 24-hour race there.
I would love to see a marathon
I don't
horse race.
think the horses would be able to handle that.
I mean, it would be cool to see, though.
It'd be very slow.
Horsepower.
It'd be like going out to the desert in Africa and watching the camels go across the entire thing. They would get there, but it would take a long time.
At 40 miles an hour, them camels would be running.
Sprinting, I don't know if they could do the marathon at 40 the whole time. That would be impressive. But yes, it was inaugurated in May. It was inaugurated on May 17th, 1875, up there at Churchill Downs, Louisville, Kentucky. The racetrack is 1 1/4 miles long. Secretariat owns the record that hasn't been broken in, 51 years at 1 minute, 59 seconds. At 59.4 seconds. It's a dirt track. It's left-handed. You have to be a 3-year-old, as I mentioned, a thoroughbred. And you got colts, geldings, and fillies anywhere between 121 and 126 pounds. First prize to the owner of the horse, Jay?
Are we talking money?
Yeah, they don't give away trophies. I mean, they do, and flowers, but that's not what these people are here for.
1.4 million.
Not bad, a little higher.
1.7.
No, higher than that. Think of winning a major in golf.
2.2.
$3.1 million. is first place. That's why it's so coveted, and that's why when these horses win, they put them out to pasture. And like Alan mentioned in the segment earlier, they make other horses, and they have that pedigree, and that's what makes those horses. It's a very lucrative business. There's a lot of people on the other side of it too that don't seem to enjoy it very much. Right. But when we get back, we'll be joined by Aaron Bearden from Instant Replay Sports Cards. Jay's got a good question right off the jump, if you can remember what it was.
I do remember that.
You wrote it down, didn't you?
Yeah, it's in my mind.
That's a scary place. Maybe it'll be there when we get back. You're listening to The Inside Drive, and you got to test him with a song when we get back.
ESPN Northwest Florida, available on all your devices.
Connected.
Hear your favorite sports talk hosts.
The Coach James Hale Show.
You're listening to The Inside Drive live.
The afternoon underdog.
And your favorite teams.
Braves winning!
We're live on the app. Tune in, Alexa, ESPNPC.com, Facebook, YouTube, and in your car at 101.9 and 104.3. Wherever you go, there we are. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Friday. Partly sunny the remainder of the day with a gentle breeze coming out of the south-southwest around 11 miles per hour and temps near 82. We will have some clouds and a wind speed of 1 mile per hour tonight and be warm at 70. And mostly sunny tomorrow and a high 83 with very little wind. Mostly sunshine Sunday with a temp of 84. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Discover the most convenient way to buy men's clothing. Pierce Bespoke. Whether it's custom or casual, they come to you to take the hassle out of shopping. If buying off the rack doesn't work for you, let Pierce Bespoke show you how to get the perfect fit. Call Pierce Bespoke to schedule your appointment. 251-278-8270. That's 251-278-8270.
Hey there, business owners. Do you feel lost in a sea of numbers, struggling to navigate your day-to-day accounting? At Lighthouse CPAs, they specialize in guiding businesses to make more money and keep more of what you make. From bookkeeping to tax planning, they've got you covered. Plus, with their user-friendly software, managing your finances has never been easier. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Call Lighthouse CPAs 850-785-5254.
Welcome to the Inside Drive, the next big thing.
It's a big, huge, giant deal.
Sports betting, huge reactions, your calls and real-time coverage of the stories you're following. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. It's Fun Friday, and that always means that we have our good friend over there from Instant Replay Sports Cards in the Stanford Station Shopping Plaza on the line with us here in just a moment. We will get him going, and he didn't have a chance to hear the song, so guess what? You're going to have to play it again.
Okay, all right.
That's how we roll on Fun Friday. And Ryan Warren, I saw you commented on Facebook. Yeah, anytime anybody wants to come in and hang out with us on Fridays, feel free. All right, Jay, hit it one more time. I'll give you just a couple seconds here. That was good. You did it you've been on fire today with the guitar. You brought the heat early with Prince, and Aaron has to, of course, guess what this song is.
You know he's going to guess it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's the king of music. He knows what's up. As I mentioned on the first attempt, we are joined, as we are every Friday on our Fun Fridays, by our good friend Aaron Bearden from Instant Replay Sports Cards down there at the Stanford Station Shopping Plaza. Aaron, that seems like an easy one for you, but what was he playing there?
Well, let me get. I'm sorry, I had the phone away, but I heard the very, very end of it. I heard a D chord in there. What do we got?
Play it again. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay. I'm just kidding. Okay. Tell them what you were playing.
Earlier this week, we did a little CD game with you, and there was a frog on the CD.
Oh, Silverchair.
There you go. Boom.
Yeah, I remember the name of the song. I remember the lyrics. I remember the name of it because it was the 90s and every song had a one-word abstract title that didn't really tell what the song was. Go or be or something like that.
Yeah, and I can't remember the name of it either.
You're playing the song, you don't even know the name of it. David, can you bail us out with the name of that song? If you can't, that's fine too, because Aaron just called it. That's they named these songs that really had nothing to do with the song that was actually being played. Whereas nowadays they really throw the lyrics in there. And but yeah, good stuff, Jay. Good stuff. You've been doing
It was a Led Zeppelin throwback thing. I think if you look at Led Zeppelin records, man, those songs, just the titles were like things that never got said in the song for the most part. I know Stairway to Heaven and all that, but a lot of those Zeppelin tunes, like this doesn't come up in the song. I think the 90s, you got a ton of that. Look at that first Pearl Jam record, man. It's all go, torch, stay, all that sort of thing. Animal.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Did you figure it out yet?
Maybe tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow.
That sounds right. It feels like
it
tomorrow.
does feel like tomorrow.
That's in the lyric. So, yeah.
There you go. Well, Aaron, we got you on again today, and it's a beautiful day out there. Kentucky Derby coming up tomorrow. We've been talking a lot about that. We had one of our guests live from Churchill Downs this morning, but Jay was talking to me before the show, and he came across a story with someone signing autographs that he wanted to bring up and see if you've ever heard of anything like this before.
There was this particular sports figure, and he basically had called out, and this happened many years ago, but they were using kids as autograph signers to get to these athletes back in the day. And have you run into any of that before? Have you heard of any crazy stories like that? I mean, that's insane.
Using kids as signers?
Yeah, I mean, because, obviously kids can make it up there to the front to get these these
You're
autographs.
talking about kids going and getting an autograph, not signing for the autograph.
Or like an individual, an adult, basically using a kid to get autographs from sports figures.
Oh, see, I took it the opposite way.
Auto trafficking.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I was thinking that there was a celebrity like who you're mentioning. They would employ kids or have kids sign their autograph for them, like sitting at a desk or something like
autograph
that.
Sweatshop.
Yeah. Maybe across the pond, as Jay would say. But
to answer your question, yes. Not only is that something that happens a lot, I've seen it firsthand. I several years ago was at a game, and I was talking with, let me drop a name here, Ben Zobrist, who was World Series MVP, really, really good ball player. And Zobrist was signing for people, and he had signed for a couple of kids. And I had noticed before I went up there, the kids had parental figures that were kind of hanging in the background. And as I'm up there talking to him, he was in the middle of going through you can look this up, a controversial thing with MLB over some shoes he was wearing. The colors didn't fit the approved, something like that. And these two kids run back up with a different couple of cards or baseballs or something. And Zobrist, he kind of had to put his foot down. He said, "Hey, man, I've already got you guys." He said, that's not fair to everybody else that you guys are running back up here with more stuff. He could see what they were doing. Those guys see that kind of stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So it happens. I know of a former MLB Hall of Famer who has a strict policy of he'll sign anything with kids, take any photos, whatever, nothing for adults.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This particular sports figure had kind of sniffed this out, if you will, because he saw the adult kind of hanging out, basically using this as a business, and so he basically got the kid's name, put the kid's name on the whatever he was signing, and just said hey have a keep up the good work, or he basically personalized it so that individual couldn't take it to the marketplace, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, because that personalization stuff cuts down the value tremendously.
Okay.
They made a joke about that on the Pawn show, the Pawn Stars, which I don't know how they ever arranged this because he's such a weird, enigmatic figure, but they had Bob Dylan on an episode of that. And they sent, what's the fella, Chum Lee, to track down Bob Dylan, get him to sign an autograph, and he got Dylan to personalize it to Chum Lee. And when he came back, the whole big joke was they were like, "How are we going to sell it now?" And he's like, "Well, we just got to find a buyer named Chum Lee."
So that brings me, I guess, that is a question that, when where you're doing it specifically for resale and to try to make some money, whereas you say, like, if they sign it where, like, an Ozzie Smith ball, just out of the top of my head, says, like, where he puts Hall of Fame on most of his stuff, but puts those kind of things, but personalizing it to an individual, that's going to drive down the resale value because it's specific to somebody individually versus, just the signature or just a signature with Hall of Fame or World Series champ or something like that.
Yeah, any inscription like that, any detail about themselves or any kind of message, that's going to add to the value. Putting your name on it, or someone's name like that, it's going to take away from it. I knew someone who their standard answer when a signer would ask, do you want it personalized, they would say, no, I know my own name. I don't need to see a shelf full of signed baseball with my name on them. And that's actually a very effective thing. Instead of just saying, man, I'm going to sell this, please don't put my name on it, to just say, no, just, write your name on it. You're the star here. You're the Hall of Fame player.
Well, it's funny. I'm thinking on some of the stuff I've got autographed that's in my place. It's all personalized. Vince Dooley. I was teaching golf at University of Georgia golf course at the time, and I think he wrote in there something like "Keep up the good work, Jay" or something. And then Butch Harmon had come to Sea Island back in the day, Tigers coach at the time, and had wrote like something personalized in that book with Tiger Woods, How I Play Golf or something like that. Yeah. So just that's all I've got is personalization.
And that's cool for you for your collection because I don't think you would be wanting. These aren't resale things for you.
Yeah. Could you ask him to write? You're the best student I've ever had.
Yeah. What's that? I'm sorry. yeah, sure.
Yeah, you could.
I had a customer, a tourist, who's telling me the other day. He's a big Kansas City fan, and he was saying he lives in the Kansas City area. He happens to interact with a couple of people who were on the Chiefs payroll, front office kind of people, and he had one of Patrick Mahomes Sr.'s baseball cards from like 1994, 95, and he asked one of them, he said, if I give you Patrick Mahomes Sr.'s card, he said, can you take it to Patrick at the stadium and ask him to get his dad to sign it for me? And he said, man, Patrick will think that's the funniest thing in the world, but I don't have the guts to go do that.
I wonder if that's happened before. Obviously Patrick is arguably the best quarterback in our current era, and is going to go on to be in the Hall of Fame, and his stuff is very valuable. I wonder how often somebody's asked him when they got the opportunity to do that, to sign to get something for his dad to sign. That'd be interesting. That's for sure. That's for sure. But that's your story there, Jay. Your question brought us to don't get stuff personalized if you're using it as an investment or potential resale. Obviously, personal collections and all that. That's a different story. That's two completely different things.
I try not to myself, even if it's not for resale, just for the same thing of, I don't just need my name on it. And I would rather, if they have a limited amount of time, write something interesting on there rather than just putting it to me. But sometimes there have been instances where I just didn't want to turn it down. I didn't want to seem like, I'm just doing it for the money or something. The actor, Jason Lee, from the show My Name is Earl, and movies like Mallrats and things like that. He gave me a picture from I think Dogma, I think was the film he was in, that he gave me a photo from it and signed it, and he put my name on it and all that. And I'm not going to say no to that. That's just for me. It wasn't going to be sold anyway.
Yeah.
But and he did a little character quote and stuff like that. But if they're going to do it, just go with it. Don't want to feel unappreciative.
Yeah, that's definitely.
But yeah, if you're paying somebody for something like that, they should. That's part of the kind of unwritten contract, I think, between if somebody's going to show up and take money at a card show or some kind of appearance for it, is they're there to make your day as well. You're paying them, right? Put within reason what they're comfortable with. Certainly have heard things that certain people wouldn't sign, certain nicknames people don't like to write on their stuff, or stats they may not be so proud of that they're known for. Yeah. But yeah, if you're getting it for you, avoid personalization if you can.
There you
just
go.
in case you want to sell it.
Yeah, CJ, you brought that to the table, and you didn't even know you were bringing it to the table.
I didn't.
And this whole time, I thought you were talking about kids signing on behalf of athletes, not because I've been to a million golf tournaments, and golfers are more apt to, when there's kids up there with their flags and different things, always kind of take care of the kids first. But I think that's more away from what we were talking about. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. You always seem to gravitate more to being nicer and doing more things for kids than an adult when it comes to you're lined up behind the dugout at Truist Park and people are signing. The kids will have a better opportunity, I would think, but again, you don't want to be sending the same kids getting all this stuff for you.
And now it seems like today with the Braves and stuff, every game there's always a legendary Brave just hanging out on a table somewhere in the pavilion just signing autographs. We didn't have that back when we were at Turner Field and Fulton County Stadium. I mean, you had to go down to the dugout, but Leo Mazzoni the other night was signing autographs.
Nice. We got to get him back on the show.
I know. Yeah,
we did that before we had the inside drive.
We sure did.
We did that filling in for Coach Hale one time.
Yep.
So reach back out. Rockin' Leo Mazzoni.
Rockin'.
The pitching coach from the heyday of the Braves.
They're big about the alumni nights now, particularly in Atlanta, but a lot of the stadiums do it. A lot of it's more about having those personal experiences now with fans than it was 20 or 30 years ago.
Yeah. Engagement is certainly,
and it's a great thing for kids. It's great for kids to see these guys in person, particularly if the kids are interested in being athletes or something. They kind of see that there is a payoff for the hard work and the dedication and taking it seriously. It's not just the money. That's great with any of the athletics, but seeing even these guys, these coaches and stuff, that it's great for these kids to meet them and maybe get some inspiration and see why they do what they do.
Absolutely, because it is a tough task to get to that level. There is no doubt about that. Aaron, I know we talked on Monday, but anything coming in, anything that has came in new to the shop for people to want to come out and spend some dollars this weekend?
Yeah, well, this week is kind of a quiet week in baseball because next week is Bowman baseball. That's the big one. That's one everybody's been waiting for, pretty much since Bowman Chrome came out last year. Bowman will have all these prospects, all these new draft picks, all these hot young players that are, you're just starting to hear about. So Bowman release week next week is always one of the hottest weeks of the year. We've got pre-sales going on Bowman on our website, in the shop. We are lower than the big online guys on it, and you get it right here. So there's no need to wait. You don't have to wait for shipping. You can pick it up the day it comes out.
Absolutely, yeah. Coming up next week for pickup upon release, which is on or about that 5-8 time frame. So that'll be that's one of the big ones coming up, and I know you'll have a lot of people coming down to the store because, like you said, you guys do a fantastic job of beating all the retailers. You're a local hobby shop, but you take care of the customers that take care of you by providing the best price out there.
Definitely, yeah. Do what we can. We love the hobby collectors. Come in, come see us. Come get these cards at the best prices we can possibly get them. Trying to get them to you cheaper than the online guys, and without that delay, without that shipping. You don't have to worry that the mailman drops the package or anything like that. You get it right in your hand. Can't beat that.
I still haven't stumped Aaron yet, and can I play another game with him real quick?
Sure.
All right, I'm ready to stump him. He's so good. All right, name game. My nickname, this is a baseball player, my nickname was Charlie Hustle.
C. Rose.
There you go.
I mean, way to make it tough. I mean, well, that's you versus Aaron. That's like comparing apples to, I won't even say oranges.
I'm going to stump you one day, Aaron.
Maybe dig a little deeper than one of the most famous names in baseball.
Okay.
Do you know where that nickname came from?
Ooh, follow-up question. There's no way in hell Jay knows where that nickname came from.
Pete Rose, I believe in his first season in spring training, the Reds were playing the Yankees, which obviously 63 would only happen in spring training. And Mantle hits a ball. Rose is in the outfield or something. Mantle hits a ball that, it's a Mickey Mantle home run. It's so far beyond anybody going to catch it. And Rose takes off like there's a play to be made. And when Mantle comes back to the dugout, Whitey Ford says, "Hey, did you get a load of old Charlie Hustle out there?" And, him being a rookie, obviously they're going to goof on him. And that was kind of Mantle's thing anyway. So, yeah. So Pete Rose for 60 years now has enjoyed telling people that Mickey Mantle, the one called me Charlie Hustle, is really Whitey Ford.
Ooh, how about that?
But yeah, it was those two guys kind of making fun of his, the way Pete Rose played the game.
Yeah. JC, look, if you didn't bring these things to the table today, we wouldn't have learned as much.
Well, I do a good job of surrounding myself with people smarter than me, and that's the way I live.
I'm going to not say what I would normally say in this segment because Aaron's on the line.
Okay, I got you.
I'll be nice to
Okay,
you.
all right.
Nice to you. And I want to get him time. We only got about a minute left. I know next weekend, Saturday, May 11th, and we'll talk about it next week as well, JSA is coming into town again. It felt like it was so long before it was going to be here. And guess what? It's only 8 days away. But Aaron, tell everybody what you got tonight and Saturday, as you always do every week over there at Instant Replay.
Tonight, 6 p.m. Kids Night. Bring those kids down. We have a lot of fun. We do box breaks. We open packs. They trade. They have a good time hanging out with other kids. We always make sure they go home with more than their money's worth in cards. Tomorrow, we've got in-store group breaks right here in the shop at noon. If you like opening hobby boxes, you want to test out quite a few products, we'd love to have you come down. We've got a great group of guys here every Saturday that love to open cards. Starts at noon. Don't be late. Get here early. Sign up on stuff before it gets filled. And then, as you mentioned, next Saturday, JSA Autograph Authentication, the premier autograph authentication company out there. They will be right here in the shop doing it on the spot.
There you go. Aaron, we appreciate your time as always, and always fun to talk to you a couple times. And you weren't stumped again. I'm not surprised, but maybe Jay will bring some heat next Friday with a little bit tougher one there and see if he can get one by you. I doubt it, but we'll see if it happens.
You'll get there. The difference between me and Jay is I know what my weak areas are, and I'm just not going to say because I know he will go there and get me. So I'm just going to pray he keeps hitting the spots that I know.
I'm guessing he's going to continue to live in that area of expertise.
He's a good chess player, I bet.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Are you?
No.
Yeah. Chestnut or checkers, not chess for you, right? Aaron, we appreciate your time as always. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Hey, thank you. You guys out there, take care. Talk to you later.
Absolutely. That's Aaron Bearden from Instant Replay Sports Cards down there in the Stanford Station Shopping Plaza. Open 7 days a week. You can go check them out. Best prices in the area. Always new stuff coming in. And they bring in companies like JSA to certify your autographs right on site. You're listening to The Inside Drive on this beautiful Friday. We'll be back with our final segment of this week.
The next evolution in sports talk radio. We're back! 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. The Afternoon Underdog.
Hello.
The only live afternoon show in Panama City where you can win fantastic prizes from amazing local businesses every day.
That's right.
4 to 6 weekdays. The Afternoon Underdogs.
It's mayhem.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hello, this is Rick Vossen with RV of Panama City, your local Stormore portable building dealer, located at 2241 East Baldwin Road. Shopping for a garage, portable building, cabin? We build them anywhere from 8 to 16 foot wide, 10 feet to 60 feet long. We can do insulation, electricity, transom dormers, thermal windows. Come, let's customize a building together. Rick Vossen, Stormore Portable Building Dealer, Panama City.
Y'all listen up. Let me tell you something about group meals from Rudy's Barbecue. It's got all you need for all the folks you gotta feed, smoked meat, sides, and more. There's everything down to the tablecloth, just like the one that you see at the store. At a bridal shower, it's better than flowers. And a long distance meeting, it'll pass the hours. It'll feed all the cousins at a family function. It's better than potluck at a church luncheon. Next time you need to feed 10 or more, call and order a Rudy's group meal.
Next in line.
Your biggest investment is your home. Protect it while also improving its appearance with Earthworks of Northwest Florida. We have sand, mulch, gravel, or lay down decorative stone, all available for pickup and delivery. Discover your dream landscape with Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Imagine the moment you proudly pull up to your home that you've worked so hard for, enhanced by quality mulch, decorative stones, and more. Let's make it happen today. Request a quote online at earthworkspc.com or swing by the office at 2005 Industrial Drive. Love the land you live on.
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. He has over 10 items in the express lane. He pays with checks and he doesn't return his shopping carts.
You have ruined groceries for me.
Now back to Ryan Mulvey and the Inside Drive. ESPN Northwest Florida. Not sorry.
You'll be hearing that tomorrow, Jay Henley. Come about maybe 5:30 our time when they get the bugle assembly going to get the horses up and heading out to the post. And then, what'd you say, 5:57 our time? They'll be releasing the horses out of the gates once they're all in. And then about 2 minutes and 15-ish seconds later, it'll be all over.
That sounds familiar to. Is that like the end of a war or something, or start of a war?
Did I not just talk about it, David?
Did you?
No. You just,
I like that though. It's the end of a war. Yeah. That's what they play at the end of the war.
Yeah, that's what they played. Everybody's like, you know what? Forget it. We're done. We don't want to fight anymore. No more war. Maybe that's what we need right now.
Yeah.
Go get you your bugle out there. We'll send you across and just start playing it.
That's right.
See, I don't even know if bugle has the valves. I think a bugle is just straight. You're blowing through the. I think they call it not the horn. I think the horn is the other part.
Okay.
The
mouthpiece.
Yeah, the mouthpiece.
So the amount of air that you're breathing, basically, yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't think bugles have valves.
Right.
Yeah. How many valves does a trumpet have?
6.
Bugles don't have edges either.
That's true.
Huh.
The chips.
They're cones.
All right.
Remember, you put them on your fingers?
Yep.
Who didn't put a bugle on their finger?
Probably Jay.
Come on.
Oh, we're talking about bugle. Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Keep up.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Keep up. We're almost done here.
Yeah.
We're almost done this week. You get to restart next week.
Do they still have bugles?
I'm pretty sure they exist.
I have not had one of those in forever.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
Dave's getting him some food back there. It's the bugle talk. And he got him going. Did you figure out what the name of that Silverchair song was yet?
I haven't.
Nothing like playing a song you don't know the name of.
I just knew it was Silverchair.
Hey,
that's all I knew.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And I like how you tried to stump Aaron with a Pete Rose question.
I'm going to stump him. I'm telling you.
I think you need to go to a different sport. Baseball seems to be his cup of tea.
All right.
And I would stay away from music as well.
Yeah,
seems to be his thing.
He knows everything.
Maybe throw some golf or hockey in there.
Okay,
Really
that's
throw him
what
for a
we're going
loop.
to do. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Who won the 1999 U.S. Open at Pinehurst #2?
Payne Stewart.
See, you've got him in that.
Yeah.
You've got him in that.
Yeah.
2005, who won that U.S. Open at Pinehurst #2?
El Tigre Woods?
No. One of the biggest surprises ever, and then the guy didn't do anything after that. I was at that U.S. Open, not the 1999 one, but the 2005 one. Michael Campbell.
Oh, my God.
Remember that name? He was wearing that shirt with the crazy, New Zealand design on the back of it.
Now, does he live now, or is he... He's nothing.
I don't think he's been playing golf.
I gotcha.
He would be on the senior tour at this point because I think he was, a little bit older PGA Tour standards in 05, and that was almost 20 years ago now. But yeah, he won a U.S. Open, and you never really heard from him again. But that just goes to show you, U.S. Open, you can sneak in there and get one, just because it's typically so difficult. But that was also pre-renovations with Pinehurst. They've had another. Who won the last U.S. Open at Pinehurst? Do you remember?
Oh boy,
it wasn't that. I mean, it was 4 or 5 years ago.
Was it 4 or 5 years ago?
Had to have been.
Yeah.
You're going to check it out. You check that out while I go over real quick before we get to our pick'em, because it is Friday, and knowing us, we'll run out of time very quickly. A couple things on the baseball softball district championships. We'll start with Arnold and South Walton. Arnold had a tough go yesterday at home over there at Gadlack. Just really couldn't get the bats going, committed several errors, and South Walton took advantage of it and won the district championship for the 4A District 1, 7-1 in that one. On the softball side of things, again, same one, 4A District 1, Wakulla beat West Florida 8-2 to become the district champions there. Also on the baseball side of things, the Bozeman Bucks cruised through the district tournament, the 1A District 4 tournament, and beat Port St. Joe last night 9-4. Bozeman sports just continue to rock and roll there, Jay Henley.
Yep.
And then on the 6A District 2, Mosley made it all the way to the championship game, but was defeated by Childs 5-1 in that, as the Childs Timberwolves are the 6A District 2 champions. On the, this is the 3A District 1 side of things, as we talked about, or one of our listeners talked about yesterday. Pensacola Catholic beat North Bay Haven 6-0. I don't know if we ever figured out why North Bay Haven made it to that championship game, even though they lost to Walton 2-0, according to Max Preps. Maybe Walton couldn't make it schedule. I don't know what happened. But anyway, Pensacola Catholic dominated all all season long and through that district championship as well. And then last but not least, 3A District 1 softball champion is the North Bay Haven Buccaneers. Again, cruising through that district tournament, buying the first round semifinals. They beat Bay 13-2 and then beat Walton last night 13-4. Regional tournaments and state tournaments are next. We'll keep you updated on all the local teams making it to that. Did you figure out the answer?
So U.S. Open was at Pinehurst in 2014. There was a German that won it.
Martin Keimer?
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
Yep.
You'd like to say yes, sir. I think, are you kin to Vern?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but I bet you are. I bet you are. But yeah, 14, it was that long ago? 10 years? There hasn't been one since then?
Mm-mm.
Oh, my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
That was right after they brought it back, Hans and Corin Crenshaw. Corin Crenshaw brought it back to the original Pinehurst that it was and got away from rough. And it's basically just fairway, waste areas, and very, very difficult green complexes. Yeah. Very difficult green complexes. I've had the pleasure playing, or displeasure, depending on how you look at it, playing that golf course once, and man, that is a tough track. All right, Jay, we better do this before we run out of time. It is week 34 on our pick'em. 153, 199, 186. I believe David is going to break that 200 threshold. If he doesn't, then
how many do I need?
1.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you got Denny Hamlin in there already, so you're probably going to win that one.
I'm going 1-2 in NASCAR this week, bro.
Where's it at, Jay?
We talked about it the other day. Is it Kansas?
Not our Kansas, but y'all's Kansas.
Yeah, that's right.
And not the Kansas that they bite your nose off because they're not eating enough meat.
Uh-huh.
But yes, at the Kansas Motor Speedway. All right, we're going to start in the NHL world. We got, I think these games are from tonight. Yeah, 2 tonight and then 1 tomorrow. You got the Canucks at the Predators. We talked about it earlier. Predators have to win this game in order to force a Game 7. Jay, kick us off. Vancouver or Nashville?
Did my research on this. We're going to go Vancouver.
Why lie to the entire listening and say you did research? We all know that that's not true.
Yeah,
he did some post-search.
Post-search, a.k.a. learning.
Right.
All right, so you're going with the Canucks in this one?
Yeah.
All right, David Hayes, who you going with?
I'm going to go with them Broadway girls from Nashville. Give me the Predators.
All right, the Preds. I want the Preds to win because I'm nothing more in sports than Game 7 in hockey, regardless of the round in the playoffs. But I'm going to go with the Canucks tonight. Last week I picked the Preds. They let me down, so I'm going to go with the Vancouver Canucks on this one. Next one, you got the Dallas Stars at the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Jay, 9 o'clock. Make sure you see that opening. Just if anything, just see the opening of it because it's a spectacle. They got the night. It's typical Vegas. Yeah. It's pretty cool. It gets everybody fired up. But the Vegas Golden Knights have to win that game to force a Game 7 in Dallas. And David, who you taking, Golden Knights or Dallas Stars?
Give me them Golden Knights of Las Vegas.
All right, I'm just going with the Golden Knights. I am also going to go with the Golden Knights. I think they're going to win the next 2 and advance to the second round. Ooh. Jay, who are you taking?
Hey, I said it earlier. I'm going Dallas Stars.
Dallas Stars.
It ain't Las Vegas tonight, baby. It's Win Vegas.
There you go. There you go. Drop some cash money. All right, tomorrow's game, Game 7. I would say watch it, but you got to do what you got to do. Toronto Maple Leafs at the Boston Bruins in the Garden up there in Boston. I get to pick first in this one. I think it happens. I think our boys with the syrup make it happen, and Boston bounces out of the first round again. As much as Marty from Boston doesn't want to hear that, I think they're on a hot streak, and they're going to put it to the end. I'm going to take the Maple Leafs. Jay, who do you got?
I'm going with Marty from Boston. I'm going Boston Bruins.
All right.
Yep.
David Hayes.
America. I'm going with Boston, baby. Let's go black
Bruins.
And yellow.
I like it. All right. Well, maybe I can get one, and that'll get me an advantage there. All right. Next, you got 3 basketball games. I believe 2 of these are tonight, and one of them may be tomorrow. Maybe it's all tonight. Let me pull it up on my app real quick, and I'm going to go fast, Jay. All right. Tonight, you got 2 games. Yes, we got the your Orlando Magic trying to stay alive and force a Game 7 back in Cleveland. It's back to you. Who do you got?
I will go Orlando Magic.
You got the Magic. Yep. David Hayes.
Give me, where are we at? Orlando or Cleveland?
It's in Orlando. They're 3.5 point favorite. All right. I'm going to say the Magic runs out and the Cavs advance to the second round where they're going to lose, but get it done tonight. Next game, you got the Clippers and the Mavs. Mavs got to win, or Mavs win. Series is over. Clippers win. They go back to Los Angeles for a Game 7. David, you're picking first in this one. You got to call, Jay. Why don't you tell him after the show?
I will.
Okay.
What'd you say?
No, it's okay. Clippers at Mavs. Mav wins, they advance.
Give me Mavericks.
All right. I agree with you. I think the Mavs beat them handedly tonight and move on to the second round. Jay, Clippers or Mavs?
Let's go LA Clippers.
The Clippers. All right. Last but not least, this is the Saturday game on the NBA side. It's the first game of the second round in the Western semifinals. You got the Timberwolves at the Nuggets. I believe it is back to me. I'm going to take the Timberwolves in this one. I think, what's his name? Anthony Edwards. He is playing some amazing basketball, and I think they're going to give the Nuggets everything they can want. And if the Vegas Knights lose tonight, I think the Nuggets may lose in the second round. So I'm going with the Timberwolves. Jay, who do you got?
I'm going to go Denver Nuggets.
The Nuggets.
Yeah, I like Denver here.
All right. Nuggets, the Mile High City. Timberwolves. There's no F in Wolves. I still got to put Toronto in here correctly. Toronto. All right. Next, this is where we get on the horse side of things. All right, let's do the NASCAR first, and we can end with the horse picks. So steady picks, Elliott, Hamlin, Logano. I need a NASCAR winner pick. Jay, you can go first.
Oh, boy. All right, let's go Tyler Reddick.
I knew. Son of a gun.
Just go Hamlin twice. Just go Hamlin twice.
I'm going to go Hamlin.
I'm going Truex again because I'm just going to keep going Truex till he does something for me.
Your twin.
My twin.
Man.
From Dirty Jers.
Yep.
Dadgummit, dude.
Yeah, I knew I was going to throw a little wrench.
You know what?
Yep.
I'm going to go with Tyler Reddick's teammate. We're going with Bubba Wallace here.
All right.
All right. And
Nobody picked Ross Chastain.
No.
Nobody picked Ross this week. I don't like Ross.
Chastising.
There you go. There you go. All right. I don't know if you guys got your stuff up. I know we got to go quick, but Kentucky Derby, one of them is just going to be which horse finishes the highest. Do you have it up on your thing there, Jay?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Why lie?
Well, I know who I'm going with.
Okay, then just tell me who you're going with.
I'm going Forever Young, Mel Gibson, 1992 film.
Forever Young.
And he's never forever young.
Right. I'm going to go with Alan Sandage's pick, Resilience, in that one to finish higher. And again, this one's just whoever horse finishes higher. So, Jay, you've got Forever Young. David Hayes, who you got?
Oh, let's go with Catching Freedom. Keep it with the Oh America.
That's right, the new national anthem, Catching Freedom. All right, real quick, we got about a minute left. We got to do two horses in this one. You got to pick. It's a first and second, and if you got to, in order to earn a point, you got to have it. They can finish in any order. It's the exacta box. It's picking the top two horses. So I'll just go first because I've got it kind of up and ready on me. I'm going to go with Resilience, and then I'm also going to go with Sierra Leone. Those will be my two. And anybody can, we can each get a point. You don't have to pick different horses.
I'll go with Sierra Leone and Just a Touch.
All right, there you go. Remember that because I'm going to type it in after we get off the show.
I'll change them up.
I will go with Mystic Dan and Catalytic.
There you go.
Yeah.
Where's the converter at?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, horsepower. All right, it's been a fun week on our anniversary. Don't forget to check out that post. I'm going to pin it as soon as we get off the air today so you can find it easily. You share it, you tag 3 friends. You'll be entered to win awesome prizes from the local businesses and sponsors we appreciate here in Bay County. Y'all enjoy the weekend. Gulf Coast Air Salute, Thunder Beach, Kentucky Derby. Jay's going to be doing all of it. He'll be out there signing autographs. Afternoon Underdogs coming up at 4 p.m. Y'all have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday.
Your attention, please. ESPN Northwest Florida reminds you it's the law. It's the law. When there's a double red flag,